Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about Doordash Uber want no tax on tips to cover their drivers. So as we have discussed on this channel in the past, President Donald Trump has been campaigning for the concept of no tax on tips. And Doordash and Uber are shouting out their opinions on this, saying that they want this to cover their drivers. That headline left me a world of confused, to be honest, and I think I need to read the article to clarify. So with that said, we are talking about everything that's being said in this article, how it actually is for Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. Doordash and Uber, companies that rely mainly on independent delivery drivers, want the drivers covered by President Donald Trump's no tax on tips idea. Executives for both reported the Wall Street Journal are putting pressure on Republican lawmakers directly involved in the process negotiations. Now, I am not the brightest knife in the crayon box, but weren't we already supposed to be covered by that? Like, the concept of no tax on tips was supposed to cover us already, right? Most of our income is based on tips. Most of the income that DoorDash gives us is the tips from the customers, even if they don't all go to us, and that's a different conversation for a different day, but still. So why say that you want no tax on tips to cover us, the drivers, if they're already supposed to? Like, should that not be a given? The sticking point is the drivers are independent contractors and are therefore paid differently than employees. Contractors get a 1099 form to report what they paid. That's different from the traditional employee reporting process using a W-2, where employers are involved with collecting payments and deducting and reporting taxes. Okay. So because we're independent contractors and the way we get paid is different, that's the problem. Now, that also said, that means that a waiter or waitress would get the majority of the benefits if nothing changes. And independent contractors are only going to be seen as making very little money in comparison, which may actually drop the tax brackets we're in to begin with. Current plans being reviewed by top Republicans would allow workers at casinos and restaurants who get tips to be covered by the proposed exemption, reported the Journal. But workers paid using the 1099 process would not receive the benefits. You see, that would be a big problem for us. Why should we pay more when we're getting tips just as much? Also, for the next person who wants to bitch about tipping after service or tipping before service, note this. This is literally the legislation that is being proposed. We would not be included if that's the case. So next time you want to compare being a waiter or waitress and an independent contractor, note the fundamental differences. Sorry, I know that was off topic, but I just need that off my chest. Uber's Javi Carrasco told the Journal, "We've become a major component of how consumers tip. If Congress is going to move in the direction of prioritizing this no tax on tips concept, we are engaged in asking lawmakers to support Uber drivers and UberEats couriers as a fairness issue." I can't believe I have to side with Doordash and Uber on this one, but please support your local gig community and make sure that they get the exemption they deserve. I have to agree with Uber on this one. I got a little indigestion from that, but still, millions of people are involved. Industry trade group Flex Association estimates well over 7 million people in America, full or part-time jobs as independent contractors. Many receive tips for their driving and delivery work. 7 million people are independent contractors to some capacity, and many of them are gig workers. I want you to think about that the next time somebody says the gig economy is going to fail. There is 7 million of us. Regardless, though, this is something that is going to be vitally important for us in the future. I really do hope that Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub are going to be included in this, as well as other forms of independent contractor work that receive tips. And I also hope that your federal income taxes and all of that are disappearing as well. But until that that happens, you do need to make sure your taxes are done properly and that you're working with a qualified tax professional to help you and guide you file your taxes correctly and by IRS compliance. But you also got to make sure you're partnering with a professional that's not going to overcharge you for those services, and that's where GigTax is here to help. Just because our country doesn't want us to have the benefits of no taxes on tips, that doesn't mean you should let taxes eat into your earnings now. Whether you're a rideshare driver, food delivery worker, or other form of self-employed, stop wasting your own time and letting taxes slow you down. GigTax was built by someone who gets it. Joseph Mayo is a gig worker with over 7,000 deliveries across 7 platforms since 2020. They know exactly what you're gonna need. Get your taxes done fast and right at a low price of $9.99 and enjoy perks like electronic and state filing, secure portal access, and year-round support from a dedicated tax professional. If you're a first-time client, they will match and beat any competitor's full-service price and give you the same 5-star service that his regular clients come to expect. Taxes done right for less. Joseph made it quick and simple. His expertise saves me time, money, and stress. Definitely recommend. If you're ready to keep more of the money you make, simplify and save with GigTax at gigtaxservice.com/drivenwyld and book your strategy session today. Use code WYLD in all lowercase letters to access. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Boom!